everybody, want to wheeze them here back to the future day, or at least I think it still is. The clock's might have passed midnight. I'm not sure. It's storming outside. Yeah, still storming. I was making sure it's letting up a little bit, but it's still pretty heavy rain. That said, we just unboxed the legendary Sky Race action pack with Astro Blast and the Sunrunner. Pretty cool stuff. We got a Wolfgang trophy. The Yarn Yoshis are there to remind you to subscribe. But when we unbox Yoshi's Woolly World and the Yarn Yoshis, I told you, behind this Skylander setup is an armada of Amiibo that we have not unboxed. And I warned you that it was coming. And since I can't really record with the lightning this bad, we're going to begin now with Pac-Man. So, I've had this guy since, like, I don't even know, sometime in the summer. He was one of those at this point in time, I was still burned out on the Amiibo because of how they mishandle stock, and they still do that for the most part. It's clearly manipulated, but Pac-Man is one of those ones I really wanted to get. I play as him in Brawl a little bit, but it's mainly like, this is pretty cool. We need to add him to our collection. He's going to be neat to look at. And so we did. And I was able to pick him up some GameStop, I think on a quick little road trip I went on. But $12.99 is the price, because that's what everyone charges except Toys R Us. And here it is, Nintendo Amiibo. Again, I don't really know what pose you could have done when he has legs that would have been any better. I'm kind of a fan of that. I'm actually a pretty big Pac-Man fan. I don't know if all Dave and Buster's are the same, but the one that I go to fairly regularly when we travel, they've got this Pac-Man game. It's like a four-way player. There's like a purple, red, yellow, and blue type of a setup, if I remember right. And you just go through and you play like, I think, 3 stages. And we usually play, we got 4 people. And you just try to eat the most dots, you try to eat the most Pac-Man, you try to survive the longest, you try to not die. They kind of tier it that way, so like if you've already been eaten, you can just go dot crazy, try to get that accolade or something, but it's a ton of fun. And back when I was a kid, I would play, the traditional arcade Pac-Man, which is kind of getting phased out, but I kind of grew up with it, if you will. Genesis, PlayStation 2, they'd always come out with the little Namco Museum type games. I think the Wii even had some of those. I don't know if I haven't seen one of those compilations in a while, but the Namco Museum, they like pile a bunch of games together, sort of like the Rare Replay, I guess, just from previous generations or something. So that type of a deal. And then one of the best kart racing games I have ever played, and I don't think anyone believes me when I say this, but it's Pac-Man World Rally on the PlayStation 2. I had a crud ton of fun with that. At the time, I was like pretty big. I mainly played sports games and like Need for Speed, stuff along those lines. And I was like, man, I wish there was like more Mario Kart in my life. And I saw that there was the Pac-Man deal, and it had like horrible reviews. Everyone said it sucked, and I was like, I don't care what the critics say. And I got the game, and it's freaking awesome. So I've always wanted to do a playthrough on that. At some point in time, I probably will. But it's a solid game. They have some really cool like spooky castle level. It's just a ton of fun. But coming around here, you can this is your NFC area of the gamepad. Tap it down, you can bring it into the game. The 3DS, if you're like me, you got an old school original 3DS, you got to get the NFC reader, sort of like a little puck, kind of like a portal of power. If you have a new 3DS, you can just tap it down on your giant touchscreen there on the bottom end. But right here, it's Pac-Man, the Battle with Amiibo and Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. So he's actually pretty fun. Again, it's a shame that Nintendo's stance on Brawl, which as best I know, you still can't really upload and monetize, which keeps most people from doing it. I can't upload it because then they come in and flag the videos, and then everything else I upload gets screwed over, even though I could care less about making money off of Brawl videos. But I feel like they're hurting Brawl because it's keeping content away from people. Like, people don't understand, Pac-Man and Dr. Mario is standalone, and all the new characters, Villager, that type of stuff. They're kind of oblivious to it. But by the way, I voted for Waluigi in the final add one more character to Brawl. I hope some of you did too. And I still want a Waluigi amiibo. And I'm 100% serious. A lot of people kind of have the conspiracy theories or something. I mean that when I say it. Waluigi needs a standalone game and an amiibo. And we won't go into that tangent here, but Pac-Man's a playable character in Brawl, and there's a lot of people that, even though he's got the amiibo, you might be like, oh, that's strange. Why is he in here? Nintendo teamed up with him or something. He's playable in Brawl, and it's awesome, and it's a shame because there's still a lot of people, kind of more casual, maybe just even some legit gamers that just never been into Brawl, and they don't quite grasp that you can fight Mario, you can fight Luigi as Pac-Man, and it's pretty cool. So I suggest you check it out if you have not. But let's go ahead and open this guy up. There's not a lot to him to see. I don't think that you haven't already seen. I'm surprised he didn't open himself. He's been here through like a couple of air condition failures and all sorts of stuff. Super wet summer. These are pretty easy to kind of control when you unbox them if you want to like reseal it or something. And I say that because you've got the collectors that they don't ever fathom opening these. They just like hang them on the wall with the packaging intact. But the problem is, like with Skylanders, you can leave it in the packaging and play it. Well, with Nintendo, they put that foil strip of evil right there. And so for like the thrifty collector that's like, oh, I've got to keep this sealed, but I want to play as it too, you can't do it. You can, if you open it up and you get this foil strip out of here, you could do it. But otherwise, it either stays sealed or you open it, or you have to open it and then reseal it type of a deal. So they've got, I guess, some sort of decent reason. I don't know. Some people have run stuff by me before as to why they do it, and I don't know that I quite totally follow the logic, but the main thing, I understand trying to keep it clean and safe and everything, but in the end, if you're creating a scenario where Superfan is going to buy this one to open and this one to keep sealed, yet Superfan A, B, C, and D are the only ones out of all the rest of the other Superfans that can actually find and buy two of these, that's problematic. It's not like these are just falling off the pegs. So he seemed to be well stocked for a while, and then he sort of kind of dwindled down. So I don't know. I haven't been following along, to be perfectly honest with you, but mainly because I had him. In a perfect world, I would actually buy a couple of these and kind of paint them up. Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures, I've actually dabbled with that kind of off camera, if you will. I've never seen the cartoon much outside of like checking it out on YouTube, but it's a pretty fun game, I gotta say, and it's something, again, a lot of people unaware of. They don't really promote it well. It kind of falls on to just like the Super Pac-Man fans that are into the modern stuff, and they don't just like cringe at anything not classic arcade style. But he's got some cool action figures out there too. I think I've got a couple. I bought some for my nephew, but again, he's a yellow dot with red boots and orange gloves. That's really about all the detail there is. But again, if you're like me, it's kind of a deal where it's the nostalgia factor. I don't know that there's a lot of people that come in and buy Brawl and they play it, or Super Smash Bros, I should say. I always do that. But if they come in and they pick up Super Smash Bros and it's like, wow, this Pac-Man guy is amazing, I've got to get it. And then the parents are like, oh, Pac-Man's in there? That's great. I know all about Pac-Man. And then the kid's mind is blown and they go and they hunt for the amiibo. That could happen, but for most of us, you're probably a little older like myself, and you're coming in as like, oh, Pac-Man got added in. Well, that's fantastic. And then you see the amiibo, and you're like, that's cool. We need to have that here with the Yarn Yoshis type of a situation. So, again, just not much detail, but it's pretty cool. It's kind of classic in the sense, I guess, early classic Pac-Man. Obviously, it's not, just 8-bit, slice out of a pizza type deal, but hard to explain, but people that know it know what I mean. If you don't, you're probably like, why don't you get Pac-Man or something like that? But or some of you may love him, I don't know. But here's the base right here. You got the amiibo. Is that a watermark? I guess it was cardboard. I was going to say. Treachery awaits us. But same old standard stuff here. It would be kind of cool, though, if there was ample supply of these and they ever went on sale, like better than BOGO 40 at Toys R Us when they don't have anything to sell. It would be neat to kind of paint these up to match some of the like more modern iterations of Pac-Man. I thought it would be cool, but this is the one I've got. I'm content with it. It looks awesome. I'm kind of glad I opened it up because we can set it up here. So that's probably where it'll spend most of its time. I'll bring him in a few times to Smash Bros, and then he'll just kind of be hanging out here because, like I said, he's awesome. So $12.99, found it at GameStop. I think if you want to find this guy, you shouldn't have too much trouble. either locally or online, somewhere along those lines. Maybe trades with some friends or something. But I'll quit rambling. This video had no need to be this long, but try to add a little extra stuff, because like I said, there's just really not much to say. It's Pac-Man. Red boots, yellow dot, smile, wink, thumbs up, orange glove. That pretty much is it in the Cliff Note version. So, you know. That said, let me know your thoughts on Pac-Man. Are you kind of old school like myself and you remember it from the glory days? Are you maybe born in the mid-90s and you hear your parents talk of them, or arcades and you're like, what is that? And they explain it to you. Or are you, you know, kind of a younger player, maybe under 10, and you're like, oh, what? Pac, what? You know, I don't understand this. What is he talking about? Or is that cartoon, which again, I've not ever seen it on TV personally. I'm not even sure what channel carries it, but I have watched a little bit of it on YouTube, and I kind of enjoyed it. But Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures, again, I've got that, I think, first and second one on the Wii. They're pretty good. But if you're looking for some nostalgic PS2 titles, go and check out Pac-Man World Rally. Might have been Pac-Man World Rally 2, I'm not exactly sure, but it was a really good kart racer. So these are the insights I tried to provide you. But as always, thanks so much for watching. Again, my apologies, there's just not much to say here past sort of aimlessly rambling and meandering, which we do pretty well, I have to say. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Pac-Man did. I mean, he's loving this. He's in the spotlight again. He's like, wow, you know, somebody remembers. And like I said, he is in Smash Bros. If you were oblivious to that, if that's a selling point to you, go get the game and get the Pac-Man Amiibo, because you will have fun. You can level him up, kind of customize it a little bit. But he's got some cool attacks in there. I can't put them on YouTube, but I've live streamed quite a bit of them, me and my nephew, so you can kind of check it out there. We used Pac-Man and Villager a few times, so be sure to check those out. But as always, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a if not, yeah, whatever. I'm not too concerned about it. But the Yarn Yoshis want you to subscribe. You can do whatever. It doesn't really matter. But SkylanderClub.com, if you go to the Nintendo section, we've got pretty good and extensive information on the Amiibos. Lots of collectors on board you can kind of shoot the breeze with. Sign up there if you'd like to engage in that. Personal site, oneofweezem.com. You can follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. And really lame outro I just came up with. It's right here. Are you ready for this? It's kind of ruined with my fingers in the picture, but see what we did there? He's turning. He's coming towards the camera. Oh, he got it. Yeah. Is it a pack dot or is it a fruit? I don't know. Whatever you want it to be. That's actually like a perfect color match. I guess you can't. It doesn't look that way through the camera, but in person it is. This is a cannonball actually from the Golden Dragonfire cannon, and I just threw it at Flynn's ship and it bounced into the floor, which you couldn't see any of that, but now you know. That said, this is what happens when there's storms and I can't play games and do unboxing. So thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you back here for more Amiibo.